Hey everyone, welcome back to Profit Isn't an Accident, the podcast where we help contractors stop chasing revenue and start building businesses that actually make money. I'm Shannon Howard. I'm a business coach and profit strategist, and every week we're talking about practical ways to help you keep more of what you earn, reduce your financial stress, and build a business that gives you freedom, not just another full calendar. So let's dive in. Most business owners I talk to are busy. They're booked out, they've got a great reputation, they're doing everything right. But when they actually sit down and look at their numbers, something doesn't quite add up. The profit doesn't match the effort, and it's usually not a sales problem. It's a visibility problem. I'm Shannon Howard. I work with HVAC owners, electricians, plumbers, and contractors to uncover hidden profit, fix those leaks, and help you keep more of what you earn. This is Profit Isn't an Accident. I want to ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your schedule and thought, man, we are slammed. Your crews are booked. The phones are ringing. Estimates are flying out the door. You've got work lined up for weeks. So by all accounts, business is booming. Then payday rolls around. Bills get paid, materials get ordered, payroll clears, and then somehow there's not much left. If you've ever experienced that, you're not alone. One of the biggest mistakes that contractors make is believing that every job is a good job. And it's simply not true. Some jobs make you money, and then others make you busy. And those are not the same thing. So here's what I mean. Let's say you complete 2 projects this month. Both bring in $20,000. Looking strictly at revenue, they look identical. But the first one goes exactly as planned. The crew finishes on time, materials arrive when they should, the customer is easy to work with, and there are no callbacks. Everyone gets paid and you make a healthy profit. The second job, though, the customer changes their mind 3 different times. Your crew has to return twice because another trade wasn't finished. Material prices increase halfway through. The project drags on another week. Now you're paying overtime. The office spends hours dealing with emails and phone calls, and by the time it's finally over, you might have made little to nothing. Same revenue, completely different outcome. That's why I tell every client I coach this. Revenue doesn't determine whether a job was successful. Profit does. And unfortunately, most contractors never measure profitability by job. They celebrate landing the project. They celebrate that initial deposit. They celebrate another week of work on the schedule. But they never step back and stop to ask, did this job actually make us money? And if you don't know the answer to that question, you're making business decisions with a blindfold on. And so today we're talking about job profitability, how to recognize the jobs that quietly drain your business, how to identify the jobs that actually grow it, and how making just a few better decisions about the work that you accept can completely change your bottom line. Because here's the truth. The goal isn't to stay busy. The goal is to build a profitable business that pays you well, takes care of your employees, and gives your family the life that you started this business to create. So let's talk about how to make that happen. One of the biggest problems that I see is contractors measuring success by the wrong numbers. Revenue, booked work, how many jobs they completed this month. Those numbers, they feel good, but they don't tell the whole story. What really matters is how much profit each job leaves behind. Think about all the little things that eat away at profit. Labor that runs over estimate, extra trips to the supplier, warranty work, poor planning, long drive times, and rush orders. Change requests that never get billed. Even a customer who calls your office 10 times a week costs you money. And none of those things show up when you're celebrating another signed contract, but every single one of them chips away at your margins. And so here's another mistake. Contractors often assume that bigger jobs mean bigger profits. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they're the exact opposite. A large project with razor thin margins can tie up your best crew for weeks. Meanwhile, several smaller, well priced jobs could have produced far more profit in the same amount of time. And that's called opportunity cost. Every hour your crew spends on an unprofitable project is an hour they can't spend on a profitable one. And that's why saying yes to the wrong work can actually prevent your business from growing. The contractors who constantly build wealth, they don't chase every opportunity. They chase the right opportunities. They know which job actually fits their business, which customers value their work, and which projects run efficiently, and which ones they should politely walk away from. Because sometimes the most profitable decision you'll make isn't taking another job, it's actually declining one. So, how do you know if a job is actually worth taking? Start by reviewing your completed projects. Pull your last 10 or 20 jobs. Then ask yourself a few simple questions. Did we finish on budget? Did we stay within our estimated labor hours? Were there a lot of callbacks? Did the customer pay on time? Did my crew enjoy working on the project? Would I gladly accept this exact job again? And you'll start seeing patterns almost immediately. Certain jobs, they consistently perform well, right? While others seem to become headaches time after time. Maybe certain builders constantly delay projects. Maybe certain homeowners negotiate every change order. Maybe certain work orders produces better margins than remodels. And maybe commercial maintenance agreements are your hidden gold mine. And you won't know until you measure it. And that's why job costing is so important. Every contractor should know 3 things after every completed project. How much did we estimate? How much did it actually cost? And how much profit did we keep? Those 3 numbers tell you almost everything you need to know. So when you start measuring profitability by job instead of just celebrating revenue, your business decisions become much easier. You actually stop chasing work and you start choosing work. And that shift really does change everything. So here's your challenge this week. Don't look at your schedule, look at your profits. Go back through your last 10 completed jobs. Circle the 3 that made the most money. Now, circle the 3 that caused the most stress. I wouldn't be surprised if those lists are completely different. Then ask yourself one final question. If I could fill my schedule with only one type of job, what would it be? That's where your future growth should be focused. Not every customer deserves a spot on your calendar. Not every project deserves your crew. And not every dollar of revenue is worth earning. The businesses that build that long-term wealth aren't the ones that say yes to everything. They're the ones that know exactly what makes them money, and they do more of it. And if you need help figuring out which jobs are making you money and which ones are just quietly draining your profits, I'd love to help. Schedule your free profit acceleration session, and together we'll identify the biggest opportunities hiding inside your business. So if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another contractor who's working hard, but really wants to keep more of what they earn. And until next time, remember, profit isn't an accident. If this hit, there is a reason. Most businesses aren't broken. They just don't have clear visibility into where the money's actually going. So if you want help finding it, grab my free Profit Edge playbook or book a quick session with me. You'll find everything in the show notes. And if you haven't already, follow the show so you don't miss what's next.